Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Hi everyone, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. In today's video, I'm going to go through my manga haul from all the volumes I pretty much picked up from the very start of this year to now, the start of April. So roughly around about 3 to 4 months worth of collecting manga, and it's a lot. It is a lot. I've gone overboard. To be fair, some of these I did get secondhand off eBay. I got a whole collection for a steal of a price, so I feel better about that. And as always, I plan on reading every single one of them, and typically for like video projects, so I'll go through like what I want to read these manga for when I get to them. And I also need to expand my manga island. It's already full. I only made it in December, so I need to make manga islands. So before I get into the manga haul, don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, let's get into the haul. I'm so excited. I'm going to start with the most recent because I did go into Forbidden Planet a few days ago and I wasn't expecting to see this in store, but that is the newest volume of One Piece, volume 102. I'm trying not to pay too much attention to the cover, and if you haven't read One Piece, I would suggest you do the same. I try not to look at the covers too much because there can kind of be spoilers, so maybe I won't show this one up too much. In fact, no, I want to. But yeah, volume 102, it's One Piece. It's like my favorite thing ever. I'm wearing a One Piece hoodie again. You know what, I have more One Piece clothing than I do regular clothing. I even have One Piece pants. I don't think you can see. I don't think you can see very well, but I also have One Piece pants on, okay? So that's how obsessed I am right now. So yes, this is the first book of 95, 96 books in this haul. Now this is just like in a random order. This isn't in order of when I bought them. But I did get volumes 5 through 10 of which Hat Atelier. I read volume 1 and absolutely adored it, so I got volumes 2 to 4. And now I have completed the collection so far. I believe volume 11 isn't out yet. I will probably put the release date on the screen unless I am totally wrong and volume 11 is out and I've just missed it. But I think volume 10 is definitely the newest volume. I just love these covers so much. I'll actually go through the covers. So there we have volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, volume 9, and volume 10. And I really do want to binge read all of which Hat Atelier from beginning to end, like reread volume 1 and binge it all. I've been having these really silly ideas, and I think I might try and do a series on my channel where I binge a manga series without sleeping. As in, like, I have to start and finish this manga series without sleeping. Which honestly sounds silly. It sounded better in my head, actually. Saying it out loud, it doesn't sound great. But like, say a video titled, I'm not allowed to sleep until I've read all of Witch Hat Atelier, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And maybe have some kind of chaotic vlog doing it, full of spoilers about the series. I don't know. And I'll do that with other manga series as well. I have plans. I don't know if they're good or not because sometimes they are a little bit too silly. But you know, 10 volumes, what will it take? Like 2 days? Maybe just 1 day? I don't know. I'm starting to get a foggy memory of what volume 1 was about, but I remember there was a young girl who saw how magic was performed. And she's just a regular girl, she's not supposed to know how to cast magic, but she sees it being performed, so then she ends up having to become an apprentice to learn more about casting magic and stuff. I definitely need to reread a volume 1 and then binge the rest of it. I also got volumes 2 through 9 of Spy Family. Now, volume 9 just came out. It's actually what I went into Forbidden Planet for, because I was like, oh, volume 9 of Spy Family's out, I'll go get it. And then realised that volume 102 of One Piece was out as well, so it was a great day for new releases. But I did get volumes 2 through 8 off Right Stuff Anime. I believe it was like the first ever purchase I made off Right Stuff Anime. Not that I'm going to use that very often because it is expensive with me being in the UK. But to have the entire series, and again, I might do that vlog where I'm not allowed to sleep until I've read all the Spy Family. I just, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds good in my head, I just don't know if it will actually be good. But I loved, in fact, not just loved, but I adored the first volume of Spy Family. It was so amazing and adorable, and it follows spies. There was a guy, I think his name was Lloyd, and he goes on a mission where he has to infiltrate a private school, but he needs to adopt a young girl in order to infiltrate this school, as well as find himself a wife. That's just the bare bones of what the series is about. It's more than that, but it's just so bloody amazing. So I can't wait to read more of Spy Family. So there's volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, and volume 9. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Another series that I absolutely adored based off the first volume. I mentioned this in the previous manga haul because I hauled volumes 2 through 4. Well, I ended up getting the rest of the series of Blood on the Tracks volumes 5 through 12 of, I think it was Right Stuff Anime as well, at the same time as Spy Family. When I tell you, I'm dying to read these. There is a volume 13 coming out, and I think that's the entire prologue of the story. So I definitely want to do a video reading 13 volumes of Blood on the Tracks and just talking more about it, my thoughts, because volume 1 shocked me so much and it was so good. So this needs to be done, and probably around about June, I think, or May or June when volume 13 comes out. But yeah, it's essentially a mum and a son. They have a really close bond, and it's very creepy. It can get very, very creepy. That's all I'll say. That is like literally the one-line summary I'm going to give you, because any more than that, and it probably will be too much of a spoiler. But here's the cover of volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, volume 9, volume 10, volume 11, and volume 12. And that's the first stack already done. Okay, awesome. Next, I picked this up randomly it was either Forbidden Planet or Traveling Man. It was on special, and it looked like it might be a horror or like a sci-fi horror. I'm not 100% sure, but I love the look of it, and that is Orochi, and this is number 1. I believe Orochi is a legendary serpent, and we have a mysterious young woman who dismembers people, and she's named after the serpent. It's something like that. Well, it says a mysterious young woman slithers her way into the lives of unsuspecting people, like the legendary mutilated serpent for which she is named. Okay, maybe she doesn't mutilate people. I think legendary mutilated serpent, and I just thought mutilate people. But I'm interested to find out what it's about, because I don't think I've heard anyone talk about this. What was that? Next, I picked up the second full colour edition of Parasyte. This series is slowly being released as a full colour edition. So I think volume 3 and 4 come out soon. So I want to get all 8 volumes and binge the series like I am doing with every other manga series. But yeah, this is like classic sci-fi, alien invasion. It goes into people, and yeah, I think I mentioned more of the plot summary in the previous manga haul, because I hauled volume 1 of the full colour edition. So they are looking really, really nice, and I can't wait for all of the 8 volumes to have Parasyte written on the side, because I think these are going to be so aesthetically beautiful on the bookshelves. And also the fact that I just can't wait to read it based off the really intriguing synopsis. I got 2 more volumes of Monster. I am making my way through the series very slowly. It is probably a classic at this point. It came out a good few years ago, and everyone raves about it. I read volume 1 and it was fantastic. And I think there are 9 volumes of the perfect edition, so I got volume 5 and volume 6, so I just need volume 7, 8, and 9. I love the intrigue and mystery of the first volume, and the fact that it wasn't like outwardly action-packed or anything like that, but there was just so much embedded in the text, in the images, that just made me go, I need to know what happens next. So again, I'm saving this for a binge, and I need to just read in the moment. I need to just live. I need to read what I want to read and not have to worry about making a video out of it. That's what I need to do, and it's holding me back because I can't make a video every day as much as I want to. So this is why it's taken me so long to get through all of my manga series, because I want to make a video out of everything I read, and I need to stop thinking like that. But Monster, it is so good. The first volume was about a surgeon who ends up having to choose between the life of a boy who came in before the mayor of the town, and he ends up choosing the boy, and that decision has consequences. And yes, that's all I'm saying. I picked up the second volume of Goodnight Punpun, although a lot of people who I love their manga recommendations from have not been loving this series, or at least they've read the first volume and didn't love it, so they didn't continue. I feel like I probably will end up liking this based off the summary. Any summary of it is just so odd and bizarre. The summary at the back of volume 1 is so different to the summary at the end of volume 2. So it says, Punpun was an average kid in an average town, but things changed. The love of his life wants to kill him. His parents got divorced, and God is being mean to him. What are you going to do now, Punpun? And I've seen so many people cry over this series, so I'm gonna read it all. Like, I'm not gonna let my friends deter me from continuing on with this series. I think I'm gonna enjoy it, or at least be emotionally destroyed by it. And they can sometimes be the same thing, especially if One Piece is concerned. Okay, I have another stack here, so we'll fly through this as well. And I have a lot of Junji Ito. In fact, some of these I believe I got based off my Patreon's recommendations, because I did a 48-hour weekend, and I let my patrons decide what to haul manga-wise. And I think it was Uzumaki was in there that they recommended. So Junji Ito does write a lot of horror manga, and a lot of it's like short stories. So I got Tombs very recently. I think this is his newest release, and I picked this up with One Piece and Spy Family. And I will be doing a video of me reading all the volumes of Junji Ito in one video probably around about October time, maybe for my like vlogs of Halloween event, I don't know. But I'm excited because Junji Ito really is so highly praised in the manga community, especially to do with horror. So I picked up Tombs, haven't heard anything about this because this is the newest one. So hopefully it's really good. Then I also have Gaio, Deserter. And I do love the covers of these as well. Like, they have such great covers. Uzumaki, which I think is his most highly praised. Shiver. And this cover does give me shivers. Censor, The Liminal Zone, and Black Paradox. Those are all of the Junji Ito books that I've picked up over the last 4-ish months. Okay, these are huge, so they were at the bottom of the pile, so I didn't show them first with that One Piece volume. But I did get the 3 Color War compendiums of the One Piece series. So we have Color War Compendium 1, which is East Blue to Sky Pier. Volume 2, which is Water 7 to Paramount War. And Volume 3, which is New World to Wano. And this is the newest one. So I was really happy to pick this up. These are literally just like filled with sketches and posters and just design artwork and stuff like that. So it's not really like manga, but it's just, it looks so good and just like great for the One Piece collection, right? It'll just be nice to go through, I think, and just appreciate the artwork and the style over time for each of the arcs. And I just love One Piece, okay? If it has One Piece on it, I'ma buy it. Okay, I was gonna save it to last, but I'm just gonna do another huge series to get it out of the way. Don't think I'll be able to pick up all of them at once though. That'll be actually, should I try? No, I'll end up dropping them. But I did pick up off eBay because I got them for such a fantastic price. Well, volumes 1 through 17 of Attack on Titan and volumes 18 through to 34. So this is the entire 34 volume collection of Attack on Titan right here. Now, should I have splurged? Absolutely not. I should not have done it. But it was such a fantastic price for all of the volumes at once. What was the price even? And it's like not often that somebody sells their entire manga collection for a really good price. So you just have to go for it, haven't you? Oh my god, why do I have to sign in? I'm on the app. £165 for all 34 volumes of Attack on Titan. So let's have a look to see how much that is per volume. 165, and that's including shipping, divided by 34. So that is £4.85 for each volume. And the retail price on these are, well, it says USA $10.99. So maybe around about $6.99, $7.99 per volume. So I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot of money by doing this. So I do plan on reading all of Attack on Titan. Maybe, again, all in one video. I don't know. Maybe that's too crazy an idea because it's 34 volumes in one video. I mean, I've done crazier, but I think it will be fun. And I'm really excited to read it. You know what? I believe the anime is ending soon. I think it's in its final season or might have already ended. But there's a lot of hype right now for Attack on Titan. And I know Lauren from Fiction Tea on Instagram absolutely adores the series. And she is the reason why I want to read them all. I'll not go volume by volume and show you the covers of each of them. That's a lot. But volume 1 here, and I believe it's about these ginormous titans, and I think it's set in a world where it's like post-apocalyptic. There is a 3-walled city, a giant 3-walled city trapped in fear of the bizarre giant humanoids known as the Titans, which I believe are these like skinless things which honestly terrify me. Like that image, that graphic alone, it gets under my skin. But what happens after that, I have no idea. But it just looks so good. It looks so good. I might do a 2-parter. I might do volumes 1 through 17 and then 18 through to 34. But I do like the idea of trying to read it all in one go. I really do. And now I only have like a stack left. Honestly, it just flies by because I got so many series. Okay, the next book is one that, again, I got because my patrons wanted me to get it on Right Stuff Anime when they had control of my card. And so one of them is Marmalade Boy. I have not heard or read anything about this prior to my patrons recommending it. I did hear that there are maybe some problematic things about it now because it's a little bit older. And we follow Mickey, whose parents are gonna like swap their spouses for a little while or something like that. And now she has a hot new stepbrother. Look, if my patron said it's good, it's good, okay? I will read it, I'll give it a chance. It is shoujo, and a lot of people wanted me to read more shoujo, so that's exactly what I'm doing. And I kind of like the artwork. The artwork looks pretty good. So let's see how I get on. They also recommended If I Could Reach You, and this is volume 1. I believe this might be sapphic. And it says it's an addition to the Yuri genre. So Yuri, let me just see what that actually is. Yeah, intimate relationships between female characters. So yeah, this is definitely sapphic. And I think it's just about Uta and her high school crush, or somebody she's crushed on for a long time, who ends up becoming her sister-in-law. I'm seeing a recurring pattern with my patrons, actually. Seem to kind of like these familial kind of ties with their romances. Do we have to talk? Another one is Kamisama Kiss, and I have actually been looking for this for the longest time in a bookstore, and a lot of the times they just never had volume 1. This is volume 1. This one is about a young girl who I believe loses her home, and she's saved off the streets by a guy who has a home, but it's like a shrine, and she has unknowingly become a local deity. And now she seems to have all of these jobs and responsibilities that she never signed up for. Oh, I picked up the second volume of Haikyu because a lot of people recommended the first volume. I picked it up, and I'm excited to actually like read the series. I think there's a good few volumes of it. It's like you can't just go into a manga series and not know that there are so many volumes, but there are quite a lot of volumes. But yeah, this is just all about basketball. It's a sports manga, and I've never actually read sports manga before, so this will actually be really interesting. And this has been so hyped. This is like so highly praised as a manga series, so I'm going to give this one a go. And I'm glad I have the first 2 volumes. I think 2 volumes is probably enough to get a sense of whether or not you're going to love the series. Maybe 3 volumes, I don't know, maybe 10 volumes. Another Patreon pick was Radiant, and I'd never heard of this one before, but as soon as I read the summary, I was like, oh my god, actually that sounds amazing. So this is in a world where there are wizards, and these evil creatures fall from the sky, and only wizards can battle them, and I believe the main character has to find Radiant, which will help eliminate these creatures that are falling from the sky. Or Radiant is the mythical nest that these creatures live at. So he needs to find it and destroy it. But I've genuinely never heard of this before, so this was like a really good hidden gem find. Oh, the next one sounds sexy. And again, Patreons. But that is Sotus. Number 1, yeah, they said it was like some kind of university gay romance. There is a hazing trial, and the incoming class must prove themselves worthy in order to receive the department's symbol, the gear. Honestly, I have no idea what else to expect other than just heat. You know, sometimes I skip through as well. Like, is it explicit? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a slow burn gay romance, because just flicking through I couldn't spot any explicit scenes. Not that I do that with every manga I see, but it'd be nice to read a romance that, you know, slows it down a little bit. And university romance, it'll probably remind me of my university days. I got the first volume of the Promised Neverland because I love the fact that Katie Carlson did an entire video on this series. And I really want to watch it. I want to watch it, but it is like spoiler filled. It is about everything that happens in Promised Neverland. I think the 20 volumes that are out or something like that. So I really need to read this series. Like, she makes it sound so good. But yeah, I think we're set in an orphanage where kids, they end up leaving, but they are never heard from again. So I think a bunch of kids who live at this orphanage endeavor to find out what's actually happening to the kids that get adopted, something like that. And I have just heard great things about it from several people. So yeah, I think it looks really, really good. And I don't think it's too long, but it also looks kind of cute and wholesome, but I kind of know that it does get a little bit dark. Yeah, I love me a dark manga. And if you've read all of Promised Neverland, I will link Katie's video in the description box because it looks like such a good video. Oh, another one actually that my patrons voted for me to buy, and I must have them like dotted around, I'm so sorry, but that is Phantom of the Idol Volume 1. I think this follows a guy in a band, a really popular band, and he ends up meeting a girl who wants to perform all her life. Like, she's always wanted to perform, but the only problem is she's dead. So I don't know what to expect after that, but it was highly recommended by my patrons again, so I wanted to pick it up anyway. It just sounded so good. The whole dead angle of it is mentioned at the end of the summary on the back. I was reading through the summary, I was like, wait, what? She's dead? But it is Phantom of the Idol. It is literally in the title as well, so I shouldn't have been surprised by that. So it looks good. It looks good, okay? And I like more like kind of wholesome things. Hopefully it's wholesome. And it says it's now an anime as well, so hopefully it's a good anime. I also picked up Undead Unluck just on a whim because I'm sure this was in a manga tournament recently with a whole bunch of big manga YouTubers, and I think this one ended up winning or coming quite high up, Undead Unluck. So I was like, how come I've never heard of that? And it's like winning this manga tournament. This one follows Fuko, I believe, and she always ends up accidentally killing people. And then we meet, is his name Andie? Yeah, I think this is Andie, and he cannot die, and he wants to die. There is some kind of secret organization that are after them as well. I genuinely have the bare minimum of a summary from this because I had to stop watching that manga tournament because of spoilers for other series. But this was so highly praised, and yet I had never heard of it. So yeah, I had to pick up Undead Unluck. I don't know if it has zombies in it. I don't think it does. It doesn't mention anything about zombies, but just judging off the title, I thought, oh, zombies. But no, I don't think it is. It's just about these two characters and the dichotomy between them. Oh, I picked up volume 3 of Chainsaw Man. I'm slowly making my way through Chainsaw Man, and I want to try the anime as well. There is an anime, isn't there? I know there is. Yeah, there is. And a lot of people are absolutely raving about Chainsaw Man, the manga as well. I think there's 11 volumes so far, so I'm getting them slowly but surely. I'm not buying them all in one go. I'm getting them in the 3-for-2 deal in Forbidden Planet very, very slowly. But yeah, Chainsaw Man, I think I hold the first 2 volumes in my previous manga haul, so I mentioned what it's about then, but I think it's literally just about a man who can turn his hands into chainsaws, his head into chainsaw, and the adventures that come from that. I picked up the 7th and most recent volume of Given, and I read this all in my 48-hour readathon blog, so I've read all of Given. I'm now up to date with the published English volumes, so I'm actually up to date with the manga series, yay! But Given is a high school romance between 2 boys who are in a band, and their other bandmates are also in a romance with each other, so like there's a lot of LGBTQ plus exploration in the series. It is essentially like Heartstopper, but different, and I always say that, and now I've actually caught up with the series, I can say it confidently, and it's just so wholesome and lovely and amazing, and I loved reading the series so much. So volume 7 was pretty good. I think I preferred some of the previous volumes, but you know, I'm just all in on this story and this romance, so I had to get this volume. Again, all over the place. The next one my patrons also recommended, and that's the first volume of Dr. Stone. I think this is another big manga series, and I do know what this one's about without even having to look on the back, because I've actually been so interested in picking this up for a while. But this is set in a world where everyone has been pretty much turned to stone except this guy. This guy wakes up several millennia later and I think just goes on an adventure in this post-apocalyptic world. Yeah, it has a lot to do with science, and I probably don't know a whole lot about it really. What do we know? What do we really know about these manga series? Nothing. We actually don't. Until we read it, of course. But this is another commitment, I think, and I would love to try and delve into it. I might just try the first volume for a video. There are some manga series that I want to binge all of it in one go, like Attack on Titan. And there are some where I want to read the first volume first and maybe do another manga tournament or just like a general video of reading first volumes. I don't know. I don't have to make everything a video. I could just read it for fun. Oh, another first volume is Yona of the Dawn. Again, I've been looking all over for the first volume of this. It's always out of stock in store, but then I went into, I think it was Traveling Man, and they had the first volume, and I was like, finally, they have the first volume of this. This has been recommended so much to me, and I know that my friends Murphy and Lynn are reading this too. All I know about this is that we follow Princess Yona, and on her 16th birthday, tragedy strikes, and it changes her world completely. I don't know what happens after that, but it is so highly praised and so highly demanded that I read on this channel that I will do it. I absolutely will. It was just so hard to find the first volume. And now that I've got this, hopefully I'll read it and the next volumes will be more readily available than this one was. Manga is so hard to get, which is why for the longest time I did not want to read manga, because I was like, it's gonna be a commitment. And by George it is. The next book I've actually read, and that is Snow White with the Red Hair, and I did like it. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was a good introduction into the world and the characters. I will probably need a lot more volumes for me to actually fall in love, so I might end up reading the manga volumes online or seeing if my local library has the next volumes in to see if I actually do want to continue reading the series. But it was very, very good. We have Shirayuki, and she ends up escaping into the woods when I think it's the local prince wants her and she doesn't want him. So she ends up escaping into like the neighboring kingdom where I think his name was Zen. Was it Zen? Yeah, it was Zen. And Zen ends up like kind of taking her in. Not a whole lot happens in the first volume from my memory, but it was honestly fine. It was fine. It was a fine first volume, and I am interested to see where it goes from here. I picked up the second volume of Pokemon Adventures, and I do, again, this is probably another one that I want to read all at once. I know Jade has been doing that, and I need to see if she's read any more. But I'm really getting into Pokemon again, like the anime, the manga. I'm just like, is this a Pokemon renaissance? I think I mentioned it in my previous manga haul, actually, my first one where I hauled volume 1, about Ash, like all the stuff that happens with Ash recently in the anime and how he's like left Pokemon. It's like brought it back to the forefront of my mind. So I do want to read them all. It does look really good, and I loved Pokemon as a kid. I think reading this will really bring out my nostalgia. It'll be a good one. And you guys know what Pokemon's about. I don't need to explain it. I think this is like the only explicit yaoi on this list. I mean, I have shown a sapphic romance and the university romance, but I think this is essentially explicit yaoi, and that's Bad Boys Happy Home. This one follows a guy who finds a homeless guy called Seven and invites him to live with him. And I think just some hot, steamy stuff happens after that. Look, do we really need plot for our explicit yaoi? Do we really need it? I don't think so. Maybe a bit more wholesome after this, I actually don't know yet. And that's Seaside Stranger Volume 1. I picked this up literally with One Piece and Spy Family, the newest volumes. It did have a package on it, which usually means that there might be something explicit in it. And it is published by Seven Seas Entertainment. And they have done some like manhwa, which I'm actually going to talk about in a second, as well as denmai, I think. I do have some denmai also. But this one is about a boy who comes out to his parents and it's a disaster. He ends up living with his aunt at a seaside, I believe. And then he meets Mio, who has lost his own parents. And I think they form a bond. So it probably is a lot more wholesome than the Bad Boys Happy Home one that I just mentioned. I've never seen it before. I think this is either brand new or it's been re-released. I don't know. But, oh, it says older teen, 17 plus on the back. So maybe it's just the themes. Like, it doesn't have to be explicit for it to be older teen. So, I don't know. It doesn't have to be explicit in my eyes. Love the idea of the story. I love more wholesome gay romance as well. Just like Given is quite wholesome. So, yeah, I'm excited to read it. I don't actually know if this is LGBTQ+, but it might be. I picked this up recently, and that's Rainbow Days Volume 1. I started reading this in Your Sushi, and then I ended up finishing my food and actually didn't get too far into it. But it was alright from what I was reading so far. This is about 4 guys and they are absolutely obsessed with women. Like from what I read from the start of it, like all they could talk about was women and wanting to be with a woman and stuff like that. But I think they end up, I don't know, do they end up becoming gay? It just says that they all spend the night together on Christmas Eve. And Natsuki's feeling a little left out because everyone else is in a relationship. But when the night doesn't go as expected, the stage is set for falling in love. So I'm just like, I don't actually know what happens. I don't know what happens. I've got theories and stuff in Rainbow Days. It sounds like it could potentially become LGBTQ+. We're just going to say. We're going to find out. It was good from what I read so far. Oh, I almost forgot about these. I have the first 3 Fullmetal Alchemist Full Metal editions, which I have been getting slowly from Forbidden Planet as well in the 3-for-2 offer. So I have Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. I would love to try and collect all of the Full Metal editions because I really enjoyed Volume 1 when I read it. It was a fantastic, fantastic introduction to the characters and the world. And I just remember that it was 2 brothers. Something had happened to them years and years and years before. So one of them is now a soul trapped inside a suit of armor. And the other one, he doesn't have his arm anymore. Like, he lost some of his limbs, and it's all to do with alchemy and stuff like that. And I believe they're trying to find the Philosopher's Stone or something like that. I don't know, I've read so much since December when I read the first volume that I'll end up rereading Volume 1 and then continuing on from there. Maybe another one I read all in one video. I don't know. But I really did enjoy it, and it's one that so many people have recommended to me. In fact, it won the popular vote in the manga tournament I did in December. So I'm definitely going to read the entire series. It's just a case of when. And finally, the last 2 are the manhwa that I said before. And yeah, that's not manga, but I put it in this one rather than my book haul. I'm just going to show you. But Killing Stalking Volumes 1 and 2. And I've read both of these and it's messed up. It is so messed up. It's sick. It's so sick. It is about a stalker who stalks a serial killer and is in love with him, but then the serial killer ends up kidnapping the stalker. And it's just so much happens that's quite graphic. It's explicit. It's messed up. It is so messed up. I think there are going to be 4 volumes. I think it's already been all released, but it's getting released in these volumes in English. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading volumes 3 and 4, but it is messed up. Just know that going into it, it is messed up. Addie from Hardback Hoarder recommended it. Katie from Katie Carlson recommended it. McKay from McKay's Book Vlogs recommended it. They're all messed up. I wouldn't recommend this series unless you're into really explicit, messed up stories like these are. It's so messed up. It is so messed up. But my wholesome heart kind of enjoyed it. I would say I'm a really wholesome guy and I love happy things. But you know what? Every now and then I do love a good horror. I love a good explicit manhwa, you know? I wouldn't exactly say this is horror though. Horrific things happen. Maybe it's more like thriller. I don't even know how to categorize it. It's just messed up, okay? I'll categorize it as a messed up manhwa. So those are all of the manga and manhwa that I picked up in the past 4-ish months. It's a lot, isn't it? It is a lot. It is. But you know what? I feel like I'm going to slow down now. I'm sure I said that in the last video. I will definitely slow down now. I will focus on expanding where I put them because I need another island. I need another manga island to put all my manga in it. But we'll see how we get on. Honestly, oh god. I also don't even want to tell you how much I spent on One Piece cards as well for the card game. This isn't the time nor the place. But that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all the comments down below. Let me know if there's any manga that I mentioned in this video that I should prioritize. Let me know if you recommend anything. I would love to know. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye!